Previously on Proper Boxing.
He's obviously a brilliant fighter and his win over Hrgovic was absolutely superb. But I can't lie, I just think he gets fucking smashed in this fight. It's just how I see it. I'm not an AJ fucking fanboy and I do love Dubois. But in a nutshell, I just see so many holes in his game that I predict will get exposed on this night and I don't see how it ends well for him. Yeah, what an absolute fucking turnip. So yes, I wrote him off against Hrgovic and I wrote him off against AJ, but how bloody good is Daniel Dubois, eh? Now a lot of people went for AJ in this fight, but a lot of them put a little asterisk with it as well. They said it might not be easy, Daniel's gonna be dangerous and he could put Joshua in some dark places. But me personally, I said no bollocks, I can't see it. AJ's gonna work him out early, he's gonna land early and Dubois is gonna be a deer in the headlights. From that point on, it's only a matter of time before AJ does what Hrgovic couldn't and put him away for good. I'll be straight up with you, I even put £20 on rounds 2 and 3 for an AJ knockout. Bloody hell, what an absolute minge. Anyway, yes, Daniel Dubois, my apologies bruv, you are officially a great of the sport. I tip my hat to you and it couldn't happen to a better bloke, double legend. And by the by, can you believe it, he's still only 27 years old, it's incredible, isn't it? He's young enough to be on Hugh Edwards' fucking hard drive and he's just done this at Wembley Stadium, fucking hell. So what next then, eh? The heavyweight division has been turned on its arse now. Fury AJ's taken a great big shit and Danny Boy's eyeing up undisputed. Although hang about, Eddie mentioned a rematch clause, didn't he? I mean, come on, as much as I'm up for watching it again because it was pure entertainment, how can anyone say AJ deserves a rematch after that? He just don't, does he? And if Dubois had lost, you think he'd have got a rematch? Absolutely not. AJ would have been straight on to the winner of Fury Usyk. So no, I don't see how that's right, bro. Okay, if Fury loses, then yes, we might as well do AJ Fury. I mean, it's after fight it was and it loses all its glamour, but I'm sure it still sells out the York Hall. However, if Fury wins, we need Fury Usyk free and give AJ Wilder or Bacoli. Fuck it, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? And how's about Parker for Dubois? Brilliant fight that, love it. But anyway, back to this night and come on, how did it come to this then, eh? Was AJ that bad or Dubois just that good? Well, all week Danny Boy said the best part on that all really, other than I'm ready to go every question. Daniel, what's your opinion on the fight? Yeah, I'm ready to go. You gonna knock him out? I'm ready to go. Daniel, do you want an egg sandwich? Yeah, I'm ready to go. He just didn't want to do nothing else other than get in that ring, and in hindsight, he handled it all perfectly, didn't he? No messing about and no BS. Obviously, the Don Charles rumours are always going to be bollocks. Maybe that was a bit of mind games from Team Dubois, who knows? But either way, Don was always going to be in that corner on fight night, because let's be honest, this man absolutely is one of the main reasons we're seeing a beast in the ring now, and one of the most incredible revivals ever seen in boxing. So after Conor Balding gurning his chops off and Liam missed every fucking note, both men got in the ring. However, if we just rewind a second, I do have a query. Daniel Dubois was in the building around about 7:45, giving himself a good 2.25 hours before the fight started, but old AJ Balding after the co-main event with Hamza Shiraz and just before Liam went on, giving himself about an hour at best. An hour to wrap his hands, get changed and warm up. I don't know, I just thought that was a bit peculiar. But anyway, maybe it wouldn't have mattered because then they got in the ring. The ring that was blocked from most of the crowd by the world's biggest pillars, by the way. Fucking hell, look at that view, you'd be raging, wouldn't you? Who's the tit who thought it would be good to make them as girthy as possible? That's a double liberty, that. But yes, they were then in the ring, and I've heard a couple of people saying, oh, AJ didn't look right, he looked a bit nervy, less confident than usual, did something happen behind the scenes? And well, I don't know, I didn't really see that myself, but each to their own, I suppose. However, Dubois looked fired up, and first round he completely kept that explosive energy. So yeah, we need no more clues, it's a fact that this man has got the best jab in heavyweight boxing. As soon as the first one landed and AJ almost buckled, everything changed. My first thought was, well, that's my bet's fucked, and my second thought was AJ just will not be able to deal with this jab all night. After a couple landed, he was so far out of distance from Dubois and solely on the back foot that he looked almost scared to get close. He certainly wouldn't have been able to land anything from that far away, but he didn't want to throw anyway from the fear of getting countered, which is why in the first round he only landed 2 jabs himself. And then the first knockdown came. An absolute ruddy peach from Danny Boy that turned AJ into something from the hills of fucking eyes. Now it was a beauty of a punch and you got to commend AJ for taking it and getting back up, but I don't know, the way he reacted was just plain strange to me. Danny Boy loads up so hard that you'd have thought that any well-schooled boxer could see it coming from a mile away, but instead he makes hardly any effort to get out the way of it. I can only assume he thought he was out of range, but but still move your head or something, squint your eyes at least, bruv, do you know what I fucking mean? Either way, once it landed, you looked at his demeanour and you just kinda knew that this was the beginning of the end. Much like the Andy Ruiz punch that scrambled his brain, Danny Boy had basically done the same thing, and round 2 he never really showed any sign of recovering, looking unsteady, moving around the ring, constantly holding and swinging wildly. Danny Boy was in no danger whatsoever, so he was able to come forward all night, and when he did, he looked like a total wrecking machine. Shades of Mike Tyson, and I tell you what, he is double strong, and he throwing AJ about, he was. Then whilst AJ done well to get through round 2, round 3, and Danny Boy put him on even more unsteady legs with a blinding left hook after another wild AJ swing, then he just smashed him to pieces, and 10 seconds into round 4, Danny Boy was bulldozing him again. But just by the by, one thing has to be mentioned here. There's been a massive debate over the heart of these men. If it goes to the well, who can deal with the heat and all that? Danny Boy's proved he's got the minerals nowadays after Miller and Hrgovic, but full credit to AJ for getting up every time this night and being an absolute trooper. I mean, he even tried to do a fucking handstand after being knocked out. We'll get to that in a minute. So for me personally, the debate for both men is over. They are both true warriors. Quitting is not in their makeup now, and they're made of solid stuff. It's great to see. So after making it through all of Danny Boy's onslaughts, but still not seemingly fully recovered, AJ was able to finally land one smack bang on the button in round 5. Yes, it rocked Dubois, but let's be honest, he took it like a fucking champion, didn't he? I mean, who is this bloke nowadays? He's got heavyweight Golovkin fucking chin, bloody hell. But AJ, high on his only bit of success, then decided to throw a risky uppercut, leaving his chin wide open. And that was that. So in answer to the question, was AJ that bad or Dubois just that good? For me is yes, Dubois is just that bloody good. I know some people will say that Joshua put in a terrible performance, but personally I just feel like he didn't have enough time to show a bad performance, because the first knockdown came within a couple of minutes and he simply couldn't recover from that point on to ever be able to perform to his best. That is of course the testament to Dubois. Whereas AJ was probably using them early rounds to feel him out like he often does in fights, he got lazy and let Dubois, who started like a maniac, land a peach of a shot that, as mentioned, done the same as what Ruiz did to him, scrambled him for the remainder. So fair play to Danny Boy, because that clearly was his and Don's tactics to press the action instantly, and it totally bamboozled AJ. Plus on top of that, his jab is just an absolute beast, isn't it? AJ had no idea how to get around that bad boy, and if he does get a rematch, it's hard to see how he gets around it then also. So to finish off, yeah, talking about this possible rematch, you'd be bound to see AJ start faster and be much more defensive, but fuck knows how he avoids that jab all night, and he clearly can't take Danny Boy's power. Thinking about it, he's likely to be quite tentative like he was after the Ruiz loss, ain't he? So at this point it's hard to see it not going the same way. However, as much as it's the most financially lucrative fight out there, and Danny Boy definitely deserves that, I feel like also he deserves a go at getting another great fighter on his record. And of course the most obvious fight is Big Joe Parker. That would be a blinder. And finally for AJ, a lot of people saying retire, but I just don't understand that. We can't keep having fighters retiring after a loss. I mean, come on, this is a glorious time for boxing and the heavyweights. People are losing all over the place, ain't they? Dubois lost to Joyce, Joyce lost to Zhang, Zhang lost to Parker, Wilder lost to Parker, Fury lost to Usyk. Everyone's got losses on their record now other than Usyk, who is the king and he's fucking mustard, and it should be that way because styles make fights. People should be rolling the dice and losing because there's so many top heavyweights now, but they can come back next time out against someone else and win. AJ can definitely still beat some of the names at the top of the tree in the heavyweight division on his day, like Parker, Bakoli, Kabayel, Wilder, Fury, Zhang. Not saying he will, but who knows? Let him dust off and come again. Fuck it. Anyway, big up Dubois, double legend.